Well, to say that 2018 went perfectly as planned in terms of fishing would be an outright lie, I think. It started off with a bang, and was beginning to look like it was going to go out with a simmer. I think I had a couple really good sessions. I can't really complain about that. Had some very nice fish this year. But I think I share the fate with a number of you that as August sort of reared its ugly head, the fishing really slowed down. I struggled sometimes even to pull one fish. And I haven't had a multi-fish session probably since August. I had one freak incident in September, but other than that, the fishing's been so inconsistent, and it's been the big things, you know. It's been the weather, it's been the water levels, it's been the things that we as anglers can't control. And as much as we tried to put our brains together and try to create something out of nothing, those big things were the deterrents to at least my success this year, maybe some of yours as well. But with the time that I have left in the season, which is about 36 hours, I decided that I was going to come down to the Niagara region, join the boys from the Angler Files, and try to close the book on this season on a high note. So, welcome to the last 36. Think that's good, Goldie? Is that good for a cut? Yeah. Cut!
Goldie! I told you. I did tell you that he was getting indication, right?
Yeah, well, you're saying there's a couple knocks there for sure.
Oh, look at this. This is already going.
Yeah.
I think you might have got the run on camera.
You got it on that one and that one.
Okay, well, I better get a better angle. I got this. You're on net duty. Oh, this is wet.
Right there.
Ooh, that's a good fish.
Not bad.
That's a good fish. Yeah, I'm sorry that the experts showed up.
That was so light for a second, I thought it was a ghosty. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, wow, that is big.
Knew it. Freaking knew it.
Nice.
Don't be like those other guys. Well, here we go. Out here with Will. Apparently the weather is becoming snowy again, so we're gonna go with a snow carp here. But Will and I have been sitting out here for 2.5 hours now. Not even, well, I think I had an indication, that was it. John and Dave are both here now, and 5 minutes, maybe 10, bam, just like that. So yeah, beauty fish, good size. It is dang cold out here though. I'm gonna put him back so, oh, it's got snow on your head now. Oh, I got more snow. Yep. Should go back, eh? Yeah, it's too cold.
That's a nice fish.
Oh, it's definitely on the corn. Yeah.
All right, well now that school's in session, boys, I guess the teachers should get their gear out.
Yeah, teachers, let's go.
I was right on the weed bed.
I think you're over the weed bed. I think you're fine. I think I'm right in the edge of that thing. Far end. Did you feel it go down? Yeah, good hard dump, but it was deeper. Well, the weather is less than ideal, as you can probably hear, you've probably seen. We have quite a bit of snowfall, actually, and obviously some mixed precipitation. But of course the fish don't mind getting wet. I think they're wet probably the majority of their life anyway. And as you can see, Goldie has indeed caught a lovely little mid-double carp already. So obviously the day is not completely lost, and we are getting some indications right now. So Goldie's running a different tactic than myself, and I think that I may switch up soon, possibly. I still have a lot of confidence that a pop-up will most certainly do the trick. I'm running a little white dumbbell Scopex and cream flavor on a multi-rig right now, and I have a lot of confidence in that rig. It has caught me a lot of fish this year, and Goldie's running, you know, a standard Goldie Cornwich. So with any luck, hopefully we'll have another fish here soon. At this point, it really doesn't matter who. We're having a good time, we're having some good laughs, and that's what it's all about. And that's really another reason why I came down here. As much as it obviously, you know, there's more opportunity for fish, I also really didn't want to have to end this year alone, right? Always better when you fish with friends. So we'll keep you updated on what's happening in the next couple hours. Stay tuned.
And Will didn't think anything was going to happen. He was sitting there complaining about the stuff on his line, and then Goldie's line just goes BAM! Again. But that blows another theory out with the water down.
Well, you got a knot in your brain. Goldie's using a really expensive hook bait
It's too wet for me to go out there. Oh, is he in Will's line?
I don't know if I should reel it in or not.
The under it or over it?
Yeah, got around it.
He's doing his acrobats. He went right over top.
Like, Will,
fish, eh?
I think you got a fish on your line.
I did.
Finally.
You got to
Just be careful, man.
Yeah, if he falls, he falls. He'll be fine. That's another decent fish.
He's got a good solid body on there.
That's a solid body. Dave likes its body.
He's a little slouch.
Okay, this bad weather is making us all silly, so I'm just going to stop talking.
There we go. Another good solid fish. Brought Will 3 hours to come here to fish, and well, showing him how it's done. I'm trying to talk here. So yeah, thanks to Dave baiting up this area. There's a lot of fish out here, even in this snow, rain, whatever it wants to be at the moment. But yeah, good solid fish. Good fight on this one. Put him back before he gets all covered in snow. Are you done? Done? Well, it's time for a rig talk. Caught 2 fish already, so John said, hey, go do a rig talk. So I've used this rig now 2 weekends in a row. It's done me really well. Last weekend I got 3 fish, and so far this weekend I've got 2. So I've gone a different route. I've been using stiff line. I've gone a different route. Instead of using the stiff hook link that I have been using, I went with that supple hook link. Just because it was sitting there and I was bored, and I tied together a rig. And it has been doing so much better than the stiff has so far. So, again, pretty much the same rig I always use. Inline lead, anti-tangle sleeve. That's the supple hook link right there. You know, it's way longer than what Dave uses in this area that he's been fishing. He uses stiff. He says he uses about anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, and I'm rocking almost 12 there. About that. Hook a liner, pop of corn with a piece of maize and a size 6 monster carp hook, and then another 24 inches of lead core here, just because it was there. But yeah, for some reason the supple isn't scaring them as much, or it's a lot more moving in this colder weather. Like you've seen, it's raining. We've had some snow. Pretty much every bad kind of weather you can have. We had some good wind a little earlier, but this supple hook link is just killing it today. And last week, John was using all kinds of beautiful rigs that he had tied up. Earlier, he had a multi-rig, hook, stiff hinge, and a helicopter, and it's all sort of like stiff lines, and he couldn't get a bite to save his life. But he tons of indications. So for some reason, the supple is either good for cold water, or the fish are less afraid of it, or it's just something about it is just really doing the action. And now I'm mumbling and my phone is binging, and there's a cactus running down the street, so I'm going to stop talking now because I have to edit this and it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Don't slide, don't slip. Well, as you can clearly see, Goldie has done very well, which is typical of Goldie. It's typical of Goldie. The weather is still less than favorable at this time, and it is quite chilly now. I'm very soaked. Winter gear is very wet, and the wind is making it quite unpleasant. So we're going to now take this time to head off and grab a bite to eat. And I think when we touch base again, we'll be in another location. As this one, the water levels are just being a little bit inconsistent. John and Dave and Goldie have all said the same thing, which is that usually it's when the water kind of remains consistent for a little while that the fish really start to turn on. And yeah, it's a bit of a downer. Obviously this hasn't started out the way that I intended, but of course anything could change at any moment. So when we touch base again, hopefully there'll be some better news to report.
Okay, so should we like do something?
I don't know, what should we say?
Well, the
Well,
camera's
it's your
running,
show.
so you do something.
Oh, this is my show. Okay, well,
Willa-Vision, remember?
we're on what?
It's Willa-Vision.
It's Willa-Vision. So hello once again. I'm gonna start that over because that was terrible.
That was so bad.
So like me right there.
I Goldied it.
You Goldied it.
Oh, my rig talk was horrendous.
Oh, I'm sure it was beautiful. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Now I'm going to talk again because you're about to talk. Because I'm a dick that way.
I hope that makes cut. I hope that makes cut.
Wow, Goldie.
How many times do I do that to you?
Go lay down.
Sit, boy! Well, when we last touched base, we were in a location where Goldie had managed 2 very nice sized fish.
That was the banker spot.
And that was, yeah, the spot where I was supposed to catch.
Yeah, that was the spot we were most expecting you to be able to get a fish in. 2 weeks ago, Dave and I crushed it. It's been producing fish all week. It produced a fish yesterday. But for some reason, that water is not behaving the way it should have been. You know, it wasn't staying consistent. It was up, it was down. Yeah, it wasn't, conditions weren't as prime as we had hoped for more bites, even more line activity.
And I can tell you straight up, folks, being wet, cold, and blanking is not a state that Will likes to be in. So the gentleman recommended a change of location, and they'd already mentioned that this was going to be a spot of interest as well this weekend, so we decided we would give it a go. And I can tell you right off the hop, it is far warmer down here. And John got ahead of Goldie and I. We went and sort of dried ourselves off and got a bite to eat. And when John got down here, apparently you saw some activity.
Yeah, I got down here. Obviously, I noticed that the wind is coming from a different direction, so conditions are prime. The fish here love it overcast. They love it when it's got a little bit of drizzle or snow, depending. But the winds are right. Now, if the winds were coming from this way, coming right at us from this direction, I think we would do well. But when they're pushing out and kind of circling around a little bit more, you might not get as many bites, but the fish tend to be of a better stamp. You know, it's not a big fish spot, but, you know, low doubles, you know, high singles are pretty good fish in here. And yeah, I came in, and the two preferred spots that Goldie and I usually focus our attention on here, I put 2 scoops of bait over each spot, prepped a little pack bait, just winged a quick single out there, just in hopes of something, maybe grabbing it before they got here, just to be cheeky like that. And yeah, had liners right off the bat, saw some fish rise, I just cranked in and wanged a cast out at the showing fish, had liners right away, so they're moving around. You've had a liner once you got in.
Very short period of time too, might add.
So, you know, to blank here, I would be even more surprised as blanking at the other spot, or than blanking there. But this is more of an evening spot. Like, I tend to do well in the mornings and throughout the day if it's overcast like this. Like, you can, oh, that was you.
Yep. Good tail whack, I think.
Yeah, something was, it might have been a pickup and drop.
It's possible as well.
But there you go. You got more activity here already.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, when the conditions are like this, we've had days like this where we've caught straight through the day, from just before sunrise right through, you know, fish an hour or so like that, sometimes even better. But this place really comes into its own in the evening.
Yeah, and evidently there's some fish here now, and I can say that I feel a lot more confident coming here than I did at that first location this morning. I mean, I was only a few feet away from Goldie when he was hitting his fish, and I was running in pretty much the same rig as John and Dave in a video that, you know, you would have seen by now likely. I was running the same rig, and the same rig that Dave had literally run the night before and had managed to fish, and I didn't even get a sniff. And Goldie was running particle, and I have a feeling that possibly we were introducing particle. There was some chop boilie in there as well, but I think they were onto the particle, and Dave has been feeding particles quite heavily, and I think they just got a lot of confidence.
It rides right off the end of that tree.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Goldie tree.
So I mean, I think they had a lot more confidence in the particle, and I think that's why Goldie got the fish that he did. And I kind of, at some point, thought maybe the particle would have been a better choice, but I was cold, I was wet, I was miserable, and I wanted to kind of hang out underneath the umbrella to try to keep dry as much as I could, so that I could come here this afternoon and still be in a condition to fish. And I can tell you right now, it is far more pleasant down here. There's pretty much no wind at all, and the rain is, you know, just a light mist by comparison. It is far more acceptable. And of course, now I've got more action. I've had a couple more line bumps, and that's definitely giving me a confidence.
I think that last one was a drop, and the advantage you have, like, you're literally fishing a rod length away from me, but you put a stick out there.
Yeah, I did.
A little stick with some of your crushed boilies, your homemade boilies. So obviously you have a nice little parcel of bait that had a harder whack.
Yeah.
So we've got fish on the bed of bait out there around our lines. Goldie's fishing straight across in his spot here. So we are set up to have a better session. And you know, I've sat here, there's been days where I've sat here all day and didn't get a bite, which drove me nuts, because we should be getting bites. And then an hour before dark and well into dark, I slammed it.
Yeah.
And like, Goldie's been here for those where it's just been insane.
Well, the other thing too is I'm sitting here right now and I'm thinking to myself, this spot owes me something, I think.
Yeah, you've been here once before in really bad conditions, but yeah, to come here and blank is pretty rough.
It is.
You should be able to catch.
Yeah, so you know what? All we need to do, folks, is get me that one, to get this blank out of the way. It's more than I was making even in my home waters. Like, to get the whack I just did now was actually quite exciting, because in some of my other spots, I mean, I've blanked so many times this year, which has been such a dig at the ego, to be fair. You know, it does hurt
as much as you know you can't control everything when it comes to fishing, you know, like 2017 to 2018, like if you compare the number of times I was successful to the times I was not, you know, I think if you were to combine all the blanks of 2016 and 2017 together for me, it would, you know, equal out to how many blanks I had this year. And now, I don't know about you, John, I don't know how many times, if you noticed more blanks this year or less fish, but like I personally really struggled up my way.
It's been rough. We've done well. We move a lot. Like, we hit a lot of spots. It's very rare for us to hit the same spot 2 weeks in a row. We're always moving and looking for fish to up the odds in our favor. So we've done well, given that it has been a tougher season, but we've had a lot of sessions where it's been, I don't think we've had many sessions where we've both blanked, but there's been a lot where it's been either me or Goldie blanking. We really haven't fished alone this year. We've always fished as a team to try and maximize our opportunities so that somebody got fish.
And that's another reason why I came down here too, is unfortunately my best fishing partner, Taya, she's looking after our 6-month-old son. And of course that's another reason I haven't been getting out as many times this year as I have in previous years, you know, is daddy duties. They take priority. So I wanted to come down here and spend company with, you know, with you guys, and you know, because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than sitting there watching rods blank all by yourself. You know, misery loves company, so I'm gonna share the misery if you blank today too.
You make me miserable, so it's okay. But yeah, I think we're in good shape. I think there's fish moving around. As long as Goldie's doesn't go first, you know, I'm taking off in about an hour or two, daddy duties. So you guys are gonna fish into the evening during that prime time. You'll have my spot all to yourself, he'll have his spot, and either one should turn on. And really, if that spot turns on, put a second line on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that spot turns on,
get the second
make him stay there.
Make him stay there. You hear that, Goldie?
Yep.
But yeah, bottom line, it's into the evening. You guys should do well. And then tomorrow, you and I are gonna kick the day off in one of our big fish spots, a spot that I have a bone to pick with because I've never landed one there, but I've fought some beasts there, as has Goldie. So you and I will start off early. He has some editing and prep to do for hopefully releasing a video tomorrow, and then he will join us afterwards for the rest of the day. So if you don't catch today, we still have tomorrow.
Yes.
But it would be ideal if you could save the blank. So
and to save a blank in a place.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah, do something. Yeah. To catch one here would almost be poetic justice, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back here and actually make up for what happened last time. That would be spectacular.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, when you think about it, when you put it that way.
It was March of 2017. Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, over a year and a half.
All right. Well, we've been waffling way too much here. Way too much rambling. Nobody wants to sit through us talking.
No.
So
hopefully maybe Goldie can put some nice videos of, you know, the trees and the water.
artsy shots are his specialty.
Yes. So hopefully you can do that and you don't have to look at our ugly mugs the whole time. I think we can do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you had a really good pickup there.
That was good.
I think that was one that was grubbing around in that ground bait, your boilies and stuff like that. So
come on, man.
The best thing to do would be to leave that one for now.
I'm not touching it. It got a sniff.
I'm going to do a recast because if there is anything moving around out there, me doing a recast can
scatter them around
and get them grabbing up. Because if there's more than one fish, they're going to they're going to be just create competition and just get all over it. So
that sounds sweet.
Let's actually get to work here.
Oh. On? Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm in. I was literally just about to pick up the rod to put another PBA stick on, and I'm into a fish. Like, I can't believe it. He's got me right in these pilings right now, though, so I'm going to try to get down here and turn him around. Goldie, if you don't mind giving me that net, brother. That was quick. He doesn't feel bad either. fish. Nice little fish. Too much of them. A little bit wrapped up around the dorsal there, but poetic justice. Almost a year and a half since I've been here last. It dealt me a devastating blow. And this morning our first spot dealt me a devastating blow. Not Goldie though, Goldie did fantastic. There's a fish in my net. Pucka. Oh, yeah baby. This is a scale perfect fish. Like very, very pretty little fish. I'll throw that rig just over there for now. Chunky little devil too. My goodness, what a fish. I got a nice little stick. Oh, you got sticks too? Yeah, I got some stick roll. At this point, the size doesn't matter, folks. It really doesn't. It's funny, if this fish were about 10 times its size, it would look perfect. It would still look perfectly portioned. A lovely little carp. Absolutely beautiful little fish. Perfectly urban little water we have here too. Whoop! Oh, nice urban water and a lovely urban fish. And that is my very first Niagara region carp. So I guess it can only go up from here, eh, Goldie? Does it get any smaller? Don't answer that.
I've caught a few smaller ones than that.
First Niagara. Tastes like the Niagara.
They shouldn't do that.
But a beautiful fish. Whoa! Don't do that. Don't fall in. Once again, absolutely scale perfect fish. And he's headed home. Whoop, maybe not. He's headed. Oh, we're off the mark. November conquered. No, we're not doing that anymore. Well, I was making up some method mix there and just balling it up and throwing it out. And of course, my hands are now completely covered in crap. Like, yuck. But I'm into a fish. Came rapid succession there. Another small one, but it don't really matter. Really hitting it off here. Back up with you again, Goldie. Yep. That just happened.
Don't worry, it's all on camera.
Perfect. As long as it's on camera. This isn't the same fish, is it? Oh. What a beautiful little fish this is. Right with that net, Goldie. Right at my feet here. Spectacular. He's ready to come in. Oh, he's going under the net now. Come on, come on. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, sir. Deuces. And it's funny, you know, that's the same rig that I was running at the other spot. Hey, Goldie.
Yep.
And it just goes to show that I knew that I had confidence in that rig. I knew that there was good hooking properties to that rig, and there was just something else at play that I wasn't in control of. And here, we've changed locations. We took control, and I think we made the right decision here. I really do. Not just because I'm catching, but because there's actually a significant more amount. You know, there's more action here. You know, so and just how quickly those two came, I think is a telltale sign of how good it's going to be today and into the evening. So let's get a close look at this one, and yeah, caught. Oh, I barely had this one hooked too, Goldie.
Yeah.
Just barely. Yeah. Once again, though, on Johnny's Old Faithful multi-rig. This poor thing has seen so many fish now, it is absolutely haggard. But it's still catching fish, so we're not going to mess with what's working. We'll put that over there for now. Oh, this one's actually, I think I spoke too soon, Goldie. I think this one actually is smaller, so but that's okay. Once again, let's leave that over here, because apparently it's happening now. There we go. So once again, another little minter. Yeah, this one's definitely a lot smaller than the first one. Like, probably another pound lighter. But maybe he like, is this the side you want? This is the side you want to show the folks at home? Or do you just want to flop?
A little bit of belly on him.
Yeah, he's a little chunky. But nonetheless, another beautiful little fish. And more than welcome after how cold and wet and miserable it was this morning. What a little reward. Fantastic. Once again, an absolutely beautiful, you know, low mid single, but that's what we expect out of here. Definitely expect this over a blank, that's for sure. All right, good guy. Off you go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think Mark Pitchers would be most offended if he gazed upon the setup we have here today. Goldie running a 9-foot monster carp rod, I running an 8-foot streamside predator, a big pit on one rod, a small bait runner on the other, a matching pair of Nash Sirens, mind you, with a swing arm on one side and a swing chain on the other, on what would probably be a beloved Fox Quattro to Mr. Pitchers himself. So, if in the event you are watching this, Mr. Pitchers, my sincerest apologies. We haven't gone quite tardy enough to match each other's tackle yet. But you can't knock us because we're getting knocks. Well, it's amazing what 8 hours can do. It started off looking like today was just not going to be my day, and how quickly the tides have turned here. quite literally, we're in a tidal pool. But incredibly, we've gone from windy, rain and snow and sleet and blech to a very peaceful and actually significantly milder evening. And the fish have really cooperated for me now. I've had the 2, and I just had a bump here just before we started this segment, so maybe we have another fish. We'll work John fingers. But even if we don't have another fish in the next hour or so, I will still be very pleased with today's result. And this leaves me with approximately 24 more hours left in my 2018 season. So at least we've got the blank out of the picture. It was a lot better than I was doing back in my home waters. The Bay of Quinte was just not doing it for me. So thankfully the Niagara region has blessed me with 2 beautiful little commons. And with any luck, perhaps we can catch ourselves a bigger one tomorrow. Because I understand we are going to somewhere very special, Goldie. Somewhere very special.
Sure.
I think they said they're going to put a burlap sack over my head. Maybe.
I can't say anything.
Goldie is held to secrecy, probably punishable by death. But I think we've done fantastic today. 2 and 2. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Well, if you can't tell from the stiffness and the ice on this mat and on this net, it is not warm today. But as you can tell from the net and the landing mat, I'm off the mark here. And in front of me is my Niagara region PB. Once again, not too difficult to beat. Just a lovely low double here. I am not complaining though, because it is a gorgeous little fish, nice and dark. Rig out of the way there. Oh my goodness. Lovely low double here. Thank you, John. Beautiful little fish. A little bit of a mangled snout to it.
Swam into the wall.
Yeah, I ran straight into a wall. But a very pretty fish. It is very chilly out here, so I think we're going to get this one back as quickly as we can and see if perhaps a much larger specimen will grace us soon. But we're off the mark, Johnny.
Yes.
We're off the mark. Thank you, fish. Thank you, fish. Well, I said it before and I'll say it again, John. Today's the day for the big coat.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's very cold, and it's all the wind. The sun coming into the Brawley right now is really warming things up. But take one step out that way or one step out that way, and you are in danger. It is very cold with the wind. I'm guessing well below 0.
I think it's probably -1, -2 right now. All the puddles over by the road are frozen. I was literally just over there for a recast, and I got a chill.
Yeah, you've got to get a kettle out soon, I think.
Yeah, but I think the my gear's still a little bit damp from yesterday in the rain. At least your stuff dried out better.
Yeah, I think I might have to go and get another pair of socks on, maybe. Just try to warm up my toes.
Yeah, I think I'll be getting I think I'll get the kettle going shortly, and we'll have a tea.
Yes, carpy. Well, John just brought back in his rig, as he said, for a recast, and he was under the suspicion that he might have still been in a weed bed. And when he brought back his rig, he discovered something.
Yeah, just
quite interesting.
I'm fishing a little bit left of our spot. It's a spot that fish are always rising on whenever we've been here. And the previous experience I've had in this spot, you know, Goldie and I haven't fished it a lot, but when we have, we've hooked some really big fish. We've never landed one here, so I've really got a bone to pick with this place. But the spot that I always fish, just off a bit of a point that's there, it's a big gravel bar that goes out an extra 10 or 12 feet, you know, maybe a rod length past where the regular drop off is, and then it goes right down to a weed bed. And that weed bed then goes on for quite a ways to the left. So I was worried that I might not be on the flat clear spot right in front, much like what Will's fishing on. I thought I might be still in that grass, and sure enough, you know, the fact that I haven't even had a liner or a bump and we know fish are moving around in front of us, bringing it in, I did find a lot of weed and chod down there. That's come in is just covered in naturals, just full of zebra mussels. I'll give you a close-up shot of that in a second. But yeah, it's like more so than we had in the spring. So last year, these spots were really heavy with naturals, and we did incredibly well. Anywhere we went, we were getting bites. This year, we really struggled. All of our main spots, our primary spots that are really good for naturals and tend to have bigger fish, either produced smaller fish or blanks overall. There was only a couple of really good quality fish that we've had in our spots, and I'm seeing now that, you know, it was late. The problem is that the naturals didn't come in as early as we hoped because of that late spring. So that's probably why we struggled so much through the season, and it's probably the case in a lot of places like where you had a tough season. So I'm thinking that, you know, now that these naturals are in there a little bit heavier, even though the fish are going to be slowing down, I think they're going to kind of key in on that smaller bait, smaller particle, and maybe darker baits, which could explain why, you know, orange worked so well, like that really dark orange worked so well for Goldie last week. Pinks worked for you this week. You know, I've got a washed out yellow on right now, and I haven't even had a sniff. But yours being krill, you know, a fish meal based kind of smell, go along really well with, you know, crustaceans, zebra mussels, things like that.
Indeed.
You know, I'm thinking that's why you got that bite, because they're already keyed in on that kind of stuff here. And, you know, like I said, more naturals that we've seen here than our other spots. So I think that's a big part of it.
And I think we made the right choice as well, going with the pop-up rigs today,
yeah.
Because of course their naturals are suspended on the weed line, right? So I think we made the right choice, because if we're in between, you know, a couple little small patches of weeds and we've landed on a nice little gravel bed, then they'll see, you know, we got that visual and they've got that natural smell as well as an attractant. So I think we made the right choice here today, suspending our baits as opposed to leaving them on the deck.
And just to throw that out the window, if I haven't had a bite or a bump or anything in about 30 minutes, I'm going to do a bottom bait rig.
And then I guess we'll touch base again,
yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
But you know, it's those kind of conditions where we would expect that if we're going to get bites, they're going to be few and far between. You know, where our lines are on the back of the wind, and being cold wind, I don't think the fish are on the other side. Every show we've seen has been pretty much right in front of us. Absolutely. So I know they're over the bait. We're putting small particle out. So it would make sense that, you know, you've already caught on the pop-up, you've still got a pop-up on. It would make sense that if I'm not doing anything, I can change it up, throw on a smaller particle or something like that. You know, 2 pieces of maize, maybe just slightly popped up, or a balanced wafter right on the deck. I got some nice wafters actually. So we have options still. We've got a few hours here, and then, you know, we've come here. So if things don't turn around by the time Goldie arrives, you know, we'll let him get a line in as well. And at halfway through the day, we could just say, you know what, screw it. Let's go back to where we were last night, where you were catching, and maybe bag up on a few more fish there.
So today, when I got back, camera just flew over. No. So, at the previous location, I stated that I had gone back to my old faithful rig, the rig that unfortunately didn't do me so well at the first location. It was clear that Goldie was making out like a bandit with the particle rig, and so when I came back to this spot this morning, I decided, you know what, I got to go with my old faithful again. I got to go back to a pop-up rig. And so this is what has done the business this morning. Nice little multi-rig here. Running a sticky baits, the pink ones, krill pop-up, and just an artificial corn on the top of that. Size 4 chod hook. As you can see, nice aggressive angle, and I think that's really what did the business. As John stated, upon bringing back some of those weeds, he did notice there were naturals on them. So call it intuition, call it blind luck, but putting out something that had a bit more of a natural flavor to it, not a citrus or a meaty flavor. I went with something that was a bit more natural, and it seemed to pull that fish. And now I think it's safe to say that John and I are gonna go somewhere else, because our brawly has almost collapsed on us at least 2 or 3 times now. As you can clearly see, the ribbing is all twisted. Don't think it's anything catastrophic, or, you know, if it's gonna decrease its life expectancy, but definitely want to get out of here and prevent any permanent damage. And we're gonna go back to the location that I was at yesterday. It's a little bit more sheltered, and we think that we would still stand a chance at a couple of fish there. It does produce in the colder conditions, apparently. Got a little bit of shelter from the wind, and with any luck, maybe some fish will cooperate there. So until we meet again, see you soon. Well, we're back again at the location that broke the blank, for me anyway. And we have arrived a little earlier than we did yesterday, but we're coming into that prime time now. We've seen a fish show just out there, and I have had, even though we've got quite a bit of wind, I had an indication that was most certainly not wind. There's just no way. It was in between gusts, and there was a good little whack on the line there. So we're very hopeful that we can maybe get 1 or 2 more fish. I only have a few hours left here, folks. And once again, the weather has changed, the wind has shifted, but the one thing we can control here, the one thing that we can control is location, and that's key. And at this time of year, if I could stress anything, it's location. It doesn't matter how much you bait to try to turn a swim on at this time of year. If they don't want to be there, they're not going to be. If the naturals aren't there, they're not going to be. It 100% comes down to location in the fall. No doubt about it. And we have chosen a location that, even in the coldest days of winter, as long as there isn't ice on the water, you can catch. And that's just not possible up where I normally fish, my home waters. So we have a couple of hours, 2-3 hours I think now, of hard fishing. And then I'll be packing it in on 2018. Bittersweet, but perhaps we can really blow it away here in the next couple hours. So stay tuned.
Chemistry lesson.
So, John, what just happened?
Well, just had a freaking melter of a run.
Yeah. And what happened when you picked it up?
Well, bobbin went right up, locked up to the alarm, and it stopped running by the time I got to it. And when I lifted up, there was nothing there. So we had a run right on time when I said that there was going to be a run.
It's good. And I'm about a rod's length away from you, so with any luck.
I put that cast out without a PBA stick because
Obviously that fish wasn't stung, so there's a good chance that he might come back.
So For our stick mixes today, John and I have sort of collabed here on a mix between some peanut butter and birdseed boilies that I've made up here, as well as a very gooed out sort of concoction of just about everything I think John has ever used as a bait ever in this bucket. It smells fantastic. And you can sort of get the sense of spice. You get a little bit of sweet in there as well. And I think really the only thing it's missing is sort of a nutty kind of flavor. Ooh, rod tip got a bounce there. So adding in that last piece of the puzzle, I mean, we could be drawing at straws here, right? Just trying every flavor we can to see what's getting the attention of those fish in particular. But it has worked. John missed a run and I had 2 last night on this exact same mix. So we're approaching that same hour where I had 2 fish last night. So with any luck, we will be blessed with a similar result this evening. But either way, even if that's not the case, we still have done pretty well, I'd say, considering the conditions, John. I think we've done really well.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's been a very, very tough fish.
I did my job. I told you I'd put you on fish.
And you know what? You did. You returned the favor.
Apparently I put Goldie on fish too.
You certainly have.
Apparently I forgot how to set the hook into a fish.
You missed something along the way there.
Goldied it.
You did. Hashtag Goldied it. Except
Goldie as bad as I just did.
Well, yeah.
Taking out Will's.
Oh, that was funny.
Taking out Will's line with mine.
You can tell when Goldie's sleep deprived when he takes out my line and then pulls his bank stick over and almost drops it in the water, and then comes over here to try to fish the opposite side of John now into a slightly deeper hole. And as he's sitting here trying to put his bank stick in the ground, he is dabbling his hook bait into the weeds, and John and I are just standing here watching this whole fiasco go down, just
Not
anticipating
any of it.
anticipating the worst, really. Well, I don't know if we're now entering the witching hour, or whether our only opportunity at this spot today fell short to that blistering take that John had, and he struck into nothing. Apparently the fish are quite notorious around here for pulling such things. But regardless of that, I chose to come here for my last 36 hours, not only because of the fact that the fish were still biting down here and that my home waters were just not doing it for me, and the lack of consistency. I really wanted to end this year off on a high note. And I feel that with those 3 fish that I managed, that has most certainly done it. And I think the fantastic laughs that were shared, trust me, when you see the blooper reel, you'll understand. I feel that because of the fact that I didn't sit and blank on my own. You know, I didn't sit somewhere and just fester on the fact that I couldn't seem to pull that fish. I think that's definitely what made this weekend totally worth it. And I want to thank the Anglophiles. I want to thank John and Goldie, obviously, for their incredible hard work, keeping these spots baited and keeping the faith. These guys fish all year round. I have not known a crazier pair than these two fishing in February. In March, when it's like freezing cold, there's like 2 feet of ice on the Bay of Quinte. Up in Peterborough, they find some open water, they're fishing it. Unbelievable. I have not known a more dedicated pair of anglers, and it's why I run in parallel with these lads. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as we all enjoyed bringing it to you. I think we'll put the camera away for now. But if something special happens, if, you know, we get graced with that last fish, we'll be sure to share that with you. But until next time, tight lines and best of luck for 2019.
That?
Yeah, that's your rod ring.
I took the back lead off so I could get more direct line. And that was just a...
It's John's turn. Come on.
I don't have a pop-up on now. A wafter on now. So it's probably right in that leaf debris.
Goldie!
Sorry, we've taken so much line and I know there's that snag there. I had to make sure you didn't get too far. Literally left mine and...
Down Goldies.
Well, that's the nice thing about why those are so close. There's that gravel bar between the two of them.
Well, we told you we would tune back in. I'll go down there. I'll start over right down here. It's right in front of you. Well, we tell you we would tune back in if something special happened. Goldie hasn't had a sniff all day. All of a sudden, his rod just went into meltdown. Right after John got a nice little beep. Beautiful fish. Oh, that's lovely. What a sweet tank.
It was a good run.
It was a great run. And he knew exactly where to go. There you go. Look at that. This is my kind of fish right here. You guys can get your like big 36s and 40s and 70s, but I love these guys. They fight so aggressively. Those big guys, yeah, they'll pull you out there and run forever, but once they tire out, they're dead. But these guys will fight until the bitter end. And he went straight for the pilings like they all do around here. So yeah, it's a great way to finish off this 2 days with Will. So I'm gonna put him back in the water and I'm gonna tell you what bait I used to catch this guy on. It's cold out here.
Go Team Goldie! Yay!
Okay, so same basic rig that I always use. Yesterday I was using a supple. I went back to the stiff inline, same lead core. But here's the magic part right here. So last year I did an experiment with monster carp corn, and John decided, you know what, we should make pop-ups out of these. So far this has a 100% success rate in every place we've gone to, and that's the vanilla pop-up. Everywhere, St. Lawrence to Welland to this spot to everywhere we've gone. We've tried this at least once to see if it would catch a fish, and today it's what, maybe 1-2 degrees, so it's cold, and we didn't think it would catch a fish, because fish like warmer, garlicky sort of flavors in the winter time, so like spicy and stuff like that. And we didn't think this was going to do it. It's a good summer bait, but the water is very frigid. It probably freeze up tonight, and it did it. So we're gonna have to make a lot more of these and sell them on the internet, make billions, and then we can retire and do whatever billionaires that retired.
Sell the recipe to a bait company and get partnered up with them and make a little bit of money, but get the fish more.
And then right here is our email address, so that you can email us so we can sell you this recipe, because it has worked everywhere. I've caught big fish, little fish, everything. And like, seriously, it should not be catching here. Like, the water is ice cold. Just had my hands in it when I put the fish back in. So yeah, so what a great way to finish up 2 days. Nice little fighter. I don't know. Again, I don't know how to finish these
How many
things.
times we're going to end this video, you guys? Wow.
This is our neck of the woods. Will's not gonna outdo us. That's a reference to October.
And scene.
Now, did you really think John was gonna let Goldie have the last lap?
Oh, come on, not this again. That was a drop back. When was the last time we had a drop back here? And it went straight out that way. So usually a little bit of a stockier fish than we had. But this is on that Banoffee Wafter. First bite I've had with this bait.
Well, I think it's only fair. I managed to get that one out of the noose with you guys.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god, it's a PB!
Can you get any smaller? I think that fish was literally hiding under a leaf and just happened to find my wafter. Incredible. It's so cute! Absolutely nailed perfectly. Can't explain how happy I am right now. This is my first fish in 2 weeks. And it is immaculate. It's a stunning fish, an amazing specimen. Let me readjust so I can lift it properly here. My hands are too big to hold a fish this size. Okay, are we ready? Oh! I am ecstatic. This is an amazing fish, gorgeous fish, a blank saber for me. After having missed 2 takes today, to finally get a blistering drop back and peel off. Really, really good take. But just to finally finish it off with that last little rip to kind of make sure we all caught before Will has to go home. The witching hour is absolutely here, and I don't want to jinx it, but we definitely have a chance at one more take. So let's get the lines back out and pack the camera away, because I think you had a great 36.